Following is a conversation with Sean Lazzerini, a recently turned professional boxer with an incredible track record and success in the amateur boxing domain. Most recently, Sean won the Commonwealth Games gold medal representing Scotland. This is Inside Matters. My name is Dr. James McElroy. I hope you enjoy it.
We met in the Western Baths.
Aye.
We might have both been in the plunge pool together.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this guy's staying in for quite a long time.
Aye.
Have I got some competition here?
Aye. It was a Tyson Fury moment. I'm getting out after him.
I didn't know who you were.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? I thought you must have done something because you're in really serious shape. But I have this thing where I don't like getting out before other people.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Even if I've been in there in a long time and I'm like, oh, proper shivering. So how long have you been going to the Western Baths for?
A good few years. It's obviously, you know yourself, it's just a good place for training, for relaxing, especially if you're an athlete. Even though like there might not be all athletes there, but it's a good place to look after your body and your mind as well. It's like quite a private place, so people aren't like just you can go there and you can just focus on your own training. Sometimes I just use treadmills all the time in the gym. I get my runs done, then I get my sauna done. I just relax. No one bothers me. I just focus.
Yeah,
it's just time to yourself, and I go almost every day. To be honest,
that was going to be my question.
Almost every day, like probably 6 days a week. I'm there, and I think it's such an important part of not only my training but part of my lifestyle as well, and my life. Do you know what I mean? For mental health as well. Do you know what I mean? It just keeps me in a good place. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I see you there.
Yeah,
pretty much every day.
I've got no life.
Slightly different times though. So do you think that is it the sauna, the cold, or both? Like
both.
Gives you
100% both. I feel like the sauna just because we put our bodies through so much in the training, in my job pretty much. You know what I mean? And training 3 times a day, you need to also kind of pamper it as well sometimes.
Right.
Give it that nice warm heat on the bones, on the muscles, stretch it out, then jump in the cold plunge, get that recovery, and just look after yourself. And I think it makes a world of difference, 100%.
So you're a pro athlete now,
Aye.
But you've not always been a pro athlete.
No.
So take me right back to the very start.
When I started boxing.
How did you get started in the boxing?
When I was 12 years old, I used to play football, played rugby. I was always an athlete in a way, do you know what I mean? I knew I was always going to be an athlete. Before then, I was going to be a rugby player. First, I wanted to be a football player, then I wanted to be a rugby player. And I played rugby until I was about maybe 16, 17. And I started boxing when I was 12, but I remember you have to eventually choose one to focus. You can't be both. Well, there's some people like Sonny Bill Williams, they become both, don't they?
Right.
But eventually I feel like you have to choose one and focus on that if you're going to take it serious. And I remember actually being on the phone to my rugby coach crying. I told him that I'm going to quit rugby and stuff, blah, blah. I remember actually crying. I couldn't believe it in it. But sports has been such a big part of my life, literally since I remember 6 years old. I stopped playing TIG in primary school. I stopped playing TIG and I started playing football every lunchtime. Right. And that's where like my sports journey began. And so 12 years old, started boxing because I started watching the Rocky movies. And that's not even a joke. I started watching the Rocky movies and I was like, oh my God, that's what I need to do. I just like, and I always kind of loved like fighting kind of stuff. I always was like kind of like rough as a wee boy. Do you know what I mean? I was always like doing wrestling and fighting people, blah, blah, blah. I loved all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I was wanted to be like Action Man or something. So started boxing, watched the Rocky movies and that. My dad didn't want me to do it at the time. But it's funny now because my dad and mum never wanted me to do it, especially my dad at the time. And now my dad's like my guy who's like pushing me the most to do it. Do you know what I mean? Even like when I was young, he was like the one who was pushing me. At times when I was like 16, 15, when I quit boxing for a good few years, he was the one who was gutted that I quit and then pushing me to go back and motivate me to go back.
Because it's not really a sport that many parents or any parents...
No, my mum's never watched me box, ever. My mum could never watch me box. My mum tells me to quit every day. Literally, even
I
still.
believe it.
But it's not because they don't want you to do well. Obviously, your mum wants what's the best for you.
Your mum's wee boy.
Of course, no matter how much, how big I get or how tough I am or how strong I am, I'm still my mum's son, and she just wants me to be safe and all that stuff. But
yeah. So how do you box at 12? Is that even allowed or?
It was funny. Right? I've even got a photo of it. I had my first fight when I was 12. I was 45 kilo, and I had these big shots.
Here in Scotland?
In Scotland, in Glasgow. It was on the Billy. The former coach of Bellhouston Amateur Boxing Club, Billy Ward. I never met him, but apparently he was like a legend, didn't he? And it was his memorial show. And I had these shorts. I had football boots on in the fight, right? Football boots, and I had
football boots,
and
not
with studs, like AstroTurf or whatever. And I had these big, massive blue shorts on with this red T-shirt, and it said Russia on it. I don't know why. Or CCCP, I think it even said on it.
Really?
Aye.
Really?
I swear to God, right? I don't know why. And that was my first ever kind of like fight or whatever when I was 12 years old, and that's where it began. So I was 45 kilo.
And what happened in that fight?
Yeah, I won. Yeah, I won.
Smashed them.
Yeah. I was even at that age. I mean, I was like still quite a strong wee kid in it. So it was like just always like my thing, I suppose. When I was even since I was young.
And that stimulated this love for the sport.
I think what stimulated it was
was it winning?
Winning, yeah. Winning. I've always been extremely competitive. Do you know what I mean? And back then, especially when I was a wee boy, if I had lost anything, I'd be just crying.
Yep.
And so winning, especially in boxing, there's a difference between when you go from team sports to individual sports, because it's all on you. It's not like a team effort. It's just literally you. If you lose, it's because you got beat. If you win, it's just all because of you. And I kind of liked that. I liked all that, the glory. I liked having the glory to myself. Do you know what I mean? Selfish in a way, I suppose, but it's like, it's good fun.
Ultra competitive.
Yeah.
Are you more 100%. Competitive now? Is it just grown and grown? Your hunger to win?
See, when it comes to a fight, something like that, it's just, I've just got an absolute desire to win. I'd literally die before I quit. Do you know what I mean? And that's not even a joke. I'd literally, I wouldn't even think about that. Quitting would never come in my mind. Do you know what I mean? I would die before I give up. And I think you need to have that. I think most boxers do have that. That's why we need people that protect us, a good coach to know when to pull you out in these hard fights.
I can kind of relate. I mean, obviously I'm not an athlete, but I remember, I know what it's like to have a burning desire, right? And when I'd kind of just got started with the company, I was trying to do my final medical school exams at the same time. And I can remember I was just totally wired, and my mum was like, I'm really worried about you.
Aye.
And I remember saying, I don't know if I said it to her face, but I remember saying I'd rather die than not smash these exams and get this company up and running. I just straight out the door. I just got to do it. Do you know what I mean? Even if I push myself to the absolute limit, I just have to do this because I've just got that controllable desire to make it happen. So it sounds like you've got that energy, but you've channeled it into the sport.
See, the thing is though, I never had that in school though.
That was in uni, yeah.
I never had that for the education kind of things. I couldn't even sit in a classroom. I just couldn't sit still, couldn't I? And
right.
But I feel like if I went to school now, it'd be different. But see, back then, like I was just can't focus in a classroom environment. And but I never had that. So I never had the competitive side in these kind of things. Yeah. I had it in like sport. I had it in games. I had it in like things like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why. I don't know what wires you to be driven like that in these kind of different things.
It's fascinating. I don't know either. I wasn't that competitive. Actually, I'll take that back. I think the only reason I did well in school was because I didn't like other people getting better results than me.
Aye.
That's one bucket. And the other bucket was if I had an amazing teacher who was super enthusiastic and got me excited about the subject, then I was like all in. I remember geography for a while was like my thing. I want to know all about that longshore drift. I want to know all about how beaches form and all that kind of stuff because that teacher was so enthusiastic. But my desire and focus has only gone up as I've got older. I've got more and more driven, bigger vision, but not less so on the sport side of things, although that's just rekindled itself over the last couple of years. So we've gone like a bit off piece. You were 12, you won. And then what happened?
Then I just kept winning fights, because obviously just 3 years, obviously there were some losses, blah blah blah, but when I got to maybe like 15, I think I won the British Championships, or 14 I think it was, I can't remember, but obviously I started realising I had like a wee talent for boxing. And
because you kept winning.
Yeah, I kept winning. I was like, you can always tell like at these ages who's got talent for boxing. But the truth is, though, it's not always the talented ones that make it. It might even be that it's the talented ones, the very talented ones when you're young, never make it almost, because they've just got it and they don't need to work that hard at that age.
Yeah.
But when you get older, you have to work hard, because people get stronger and people get better. But that guy who's always just he was quite talented but a hard worker, he's the one who's going to keep getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Especially when you get older. So at that age, especially if you're an amateur boxer, it's about learning. It's about just keep learning your craft, keep progressing and keep working hard. But when you get to 16 and 15, as you know, do you know what I mean? Like, that's when people, especially in Glasgow, I feel like just they find alcohol, they find partying, they find, and a lot of people drugs,
yep.
And a lot of people don't make it through that if they want to become a sportsman. And it's the thing is, though, being an athlete isn't for everyone. It's a hard thing to do. Do you know what I mean? In any sport, to dedicate your life, you can't go drinking all the time. You can't party all the time. You can do it sometimes, but you need to look after your body. And a lot of people want to just have like a kind of normal life and go out the weekends and have a laugh and have a few drinks, blah blah blah, which there's nothing wrong with. But if you want to be a top athlete, especially in a sport like boxing, then you need to make sacrifices. But the thing for me is, I don't really see it as a sacrifice, because it's what I want to do and it's what I enjoy doing. I don't really back then though, I did quit boxing for 2 years though, almost.
Yeah, you said that. So when was that?
When I was about 16, I think it was, or 15, because like I just
distractions.
Just once you get that age in it, you start seeing girls' parties and alcohol and stuff, and then it's funny again, because I remember I think I must have started back again when I was about 17, and I was just thinking like I had such a good opportunity to like maybe do something extraordinary in my life, like become like a professional athlete or something, and like potentially like a world champion or something like that. And I always seen that for myself. Do you know what I mean? That's the vision I always had for myself, like being something like a crazy, amazing athlete. Yeah. And then I kind of was like, oh my God, I've completely ruined it. And then I started boxing again, and it wasn't too late. Do you know what I mean? So
for those 2 years, you just weren't boxing? Were you training at all?
Well, boxing, no. And I was
living the Glasgow lifestyle.
Yeah, just it was, in a way, I suppose it was good, because it's
got it out of your system.
Maybe you get some stuff out of your system and that, but at the same time as well, I was still like playing. I was still playing rugby and football a wee bit, and but at the same time as well, with alcohol and stuff and that kind of lifestyle, it just brings trouble. It doesn't really bring anything good to your life. It doesn't bring any value, and you just become like, you don't want to be like everyone else.
Right.
You want to have purpose. You want to have something that you're driving for. You need to have some goal, some target. And then again, I was young, right? So I'm not going to be like pure hard on myself. Like, I didn't have any visions and targets and stuff. But then we went back to it, and it worked out. So it was okay.
Sounds like it's worked out for you, man. I mean, we're going to get to where you're at now, and you're really seems like you're on a crazy upwards growth trajectory, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
Even since I've known you, you've done some unbelievable things, right? We'll get to that. I want to keep the audience listening. So you're right, 18, it's a lot going on. You're allowed to drink legally. Everyone's partying. Some people are going to uni. But you went down a different path. You started to focus on trying to make it, right?
Yeah. So obviously I left school when I was 17, and then but I was in the Scotland team though. So I won the youth. I actually won the youth Commonwealth Games.
Did you?
In Samoa. I actually won it. And in Samoa, you know Samoa?
Oh yeah.
An island beside
there's some big boys there.
Big Samoans, yeah. Big beasts.
Big units, yeah.
But I was actually
Do they box?
Yeah, there's some good Samoan boxers, to be honest.
Yeah.
But a lot of them box out of like New Zealand and that, and yeah.
It must be so like
but I thought
dense musculature and bone structure.
But so yeah, I won that, the Commonwealth Games there, but that was a lot easier though. But I've always worked though. I've always had a job and stuff, and I went to college when I was 18 when I came back from that, and I done fitness and sport, and then I left that and I done business. I lasted 3 weeks in college, but like the thing is,
what do you mean you lasted 3 weeks? What
because
happened?
it just
It wasn't for you.
It just wasn't for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like I generally can't thrive in that kind of environment. Like I struggle to sit and just listen to a teacher talk about like accountancy, because I was studying, I'd done business or something for like a few weeks.
Yeah.
Business management. And obviously like I would like to have my own business and stuff one day. Even in a way I kind of do just now, do you know what I mean?
You do, yeah.
But
you want to build the empire.
Yeah, but like back then it's just, see, sitting in a classroom for me.
Right.
How can I sit in a classroom and I've got like my pals and that like beside me and that like laughing and stuff? I just can't focus. I know it's like a bad attitude to have, but so I left that and I had like various jobs and stuff. Like for a few years I started working I've worked in restaurants, bars, alongside trying to like fund my boxing career. And then I started working as a personal trainer at Boxer's Booth. And that's been a great journey as well for me. Do you know what I mean? Just
that's the one that I've been to.
Yeah, you've been to there.
Yeah.
So you know, it's a nice wee gym in the Govan with Essen and Oz, and they've done
good atmosphere.
Brilliant atmosphere, absolutely brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's really friendly. The gym's a wee private gym. It's got so much, just everything you need in a gym, really, to be honest. And it's been good for me because I've been able to kind of like fund my boxing career from that. And even still, I'm still doing that just there. And personal training, to be honest, even no matter how well I do in my boxing career, like, I'd always still like to keep that.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoy it.
You're a good coach. You're like, let's go, champ!
Let's go,
champ! Let's go!
I actually really love it.
I can't do any more, man. Let's go, champ!
It's really fun, to be honest. And I've met so many clients that have ended up just becoming my pals and stuff. So it's really good.
How do people fund their boxing career usually? Is it through sponsorship?
A lot of people get sponsors and stuff, and a lot of people get, maybe they'll have like family and that's supporting them,
right?
Financially and stuff.
Until you become pro, and then you've still.
But even as a pro, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be rich at the start. You're not going to make big money at the start. It's only in boxing, like, people don't get this idea. It's like,
you're pro, you made it.
It's not that at all. Right?
Yeah,
it's not that at all. It's hard. When you become a pro boxer, you're not going to be making millions at all at the start. It's a pure graft,
right?
And that's for like all fighters.
Right.
Boxing is potentially even like the best out of them all. See the MMA fighters and that as well, and the ones even in the UFC, they struggle. They struggle so much because they don't get like that much money. People think they get so much money, but it's not true at all, right? And then like 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager, and then
25% to the manager, 10 to the trainer, okay, 35%.
Then tax, blah, blah, do you know what I mean? So it's like, and then you have to pay for everything yourself. Like, you're going to pay for your physio, you're going to pay for the S&C coach, you're going to pay for, you need to pay like a lot of things. So it's a lot. It's a hard life. That's why you need sponsors and stuff. That's why you need some more support like that.
There's a lot there. Tell me about the transition then from when you were before pro to now, and you're professional now, right? When did you go pro?
Recently, like just at the very end of last year. I signed with Ian Wilson. He's my manager.
I remember I saw you weren't pro, and then the next time I saw you were pro. I was like, well done, bro.
Yeah, it's good.
Next chapter.
Next chapter. So, but I don't even see it as like a next chapter really, because I'm still gonna be doing like what I do, but it's just you're not wearing a vest anymore,
and you're not wearing a headgear anymore.
But you never wear headgear anyway. You don't wear headgear. No.
So what's the headgear all about then?
Headgear, you wear it when you're a youth under 18.
Is that right?
Aye.
Huh. I thought it was for all amateur boxers.
No. You only wear that when.
Does it even help?
Well, I think that's why because they used to wear the headguard, didn't they? But then they took it away because they done studies like apparently it doesn't really help.
Doesn't help for concussion at all.
No.
Yeah. And the gloves I heard.
I even think that it potentially it causes more concussions because, for example, when you've got a headguard on, it doesn't stop your brain from getting rattled about.
Exactly.
But like basically it just makes your head bigger. and you're going to take more punches.
More of a
do you know what I
target.
mean?
Yeah.
But when you've got no head guard, the punches kind of glide off a wee bit.
Oh, interesting.
In a way, so it's like, but
fascinating.
I think it stops you from getting cuts and all that stuff a wee bit. But yeah,
interesting. And the gloves are mainly to protect your hands, right? I heard that as well.
Nah, I wouldn't say so.
No, they protect your face and bones and other things like that as well.
Yeah, especially in amateur as well. So that's one thing as well. In amateur, the gloves are they feel more cushiony, more padded a wee bit.
Oh.
In professional, they're solid.
Oh, damn, man.
Aye.
So have you had a professional fight yet?
Not yet.
When is it?
Hopefully soon. As soon as possible. I'll let you all know.
Let me know, man. I need to go.
You'll be there.
Be there for Team Sean. Okay, so tell me about your typical training day now.
Uh-huh.
And tell me about how your training's evolved over time. You said 3 times a day. I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
So 3 times a day, twice a week. I'll do 3 sessions a day, twice a week, and for the other. So basically, that's how I'll do this. I'll do 6 training sessions a week.
Yep.
And 4 out of the 6 will be 2 sessions a day, and then other 2 will be 3.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work.
On Monday we start off with a run, then boxing, and then on the Tuesdays and Thursdays a weight session will be added in there.
Yep.
So I'll do weights twice a week, and then I'll be like, is it maybe run 6 or 5 times a week?
Have boxers always done weights, or is that quite a new thing?
Well, old school coaches, and like even when I was growing up as a wee boy, they never told you to do weights. But when people think of weights, they think more of like bodybuilding kind of weights, weight training, like for hypertrophy. But that probably wouldn't. That's not really good for boxing. But you need to make your training specific for your sport and what you're going to do.
Right.
And the weight training I do is more explosive.
Yep.
It's more about performance based. It's about injury prevention. So that's what my weight training is all based on.
And your coach puts all of that together and you just follow the program, or do you program a little bit yourself too?
Sometimes I add my own wee bits as well, things that I'd like to kind of maybe work on as well, because I'm quite experienced with weights and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And but yeah, usually I've got a coach that will like make my plan and I just follow it, to be honest.
And how's the training and the work increased or decreased over the years? Like, are you doing more work now than ever before?
Yeah. I train with Ricky Burns now as well. Ricky Burns is a 3-time world champion.
Yeah, I know the name.
And he was a brilliant boxer. I used to see him growing up when I was a wee boy as well. He was a big motivation for young Scottish boxers because he was just like a normal guy from Coatbridge and just done absolutely brilliant. And just the way this guy works, even now he's like retired, he's just mental. He's just constantly training. And he's just an absolute machine. I actually sparred him once, right? And he's a lightweight as well. Yeah. And I was thinking, obviously,
for the listener, what's your weight?
I'm a light heavyweight.
Right, so you're above.
Aye, so I'm like a lot heavier than this guy, right? And then I just remember sparring him. And he's not actually known as to be like a knockout artist or anything. I remember him punching me. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? I swear, he's absolutely I couldn't believe it, innit? I was like, what the hell? Surely he kills everyone that has like his size in it. It's like
he was hitting hard.
He's an absolute machine, and like that's something I try to take from him. Just that absolute work ethic.
Yeah,
he's like a kind of Scottish David Goggins in a way. He just does like
really.
I swear he does like just crazy. Even he's retired now. He just does like crazy running sessions and crazy weight sessions and crazy boxing sessions. It's just non-stop. So I'm sure that's what I want to add to my.
How often are you training with Ricky?
Probably about. Supposed to be about maybe 5 times a week. 5 times a week.
Okay, so you're training.
He tells me exactly what I need to do. So the reason is because I started training with Ricky. My coach growing up, in recent years was Jim McCosh, and Jim's a brilliant coach. Jim done so much for me over the years, even up until this day, and he's always going to be part of my team in life or whatever. But he's got his own job and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just needed someone who's more full time.
Yep.
To just be there.
And a former champion.
Do you know what I mean? Of course, he's got all that experience, Ricky. I'm still learning myself.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I do.
And I want someone I'd like to have someone who had that experience and knew what it takes to be a world champion. And basically,
what does it take to be a champion?
I think it's literally just your mindset and just you need to just be comfortable putting yourself in uncomfortable situations every day. Do you know what I mean? Just putting yourself through absolute pain all the time, and that's generally what I think it is, right? And if you have that mindset where you're not scared of anyone and you're not scared of putting yourself out there and like saying that you're going to be like the best, and then just going out there and backing your words up, then you're going to be a champion, I think. And that's what I'm going to do.
Well, you are a champion.
Yeah.
So tell me about the recent victory, because that was a big one for you, wasn't it? The Commonwealth. The
Commonwealth Games, yeah. So basically, I just said I was going to go pro. My original plan was to go to Olympics. I was in Team GB for about 3 years almost, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Team GB was good because you were getting paid every month, and then you were comfortable. Do you know what I mean? It was like you were a professional athlete then. You're getting paid every month, a decent salary. You get, and I was working as well. I was in a good situation. So, and basically, so I wanted to go to Olympics, and at 75 kilo, but I ended up getting this hand injury. I broke my hand in Belarus. I
can still see there's something there.
Yeah, and basically it was in Belarus, and I won this fight, and my hand was just absolutely massive, and then I took so much time out to let it recover, and it got injured again, So basically, I had to get an operation to fix it properly. I wouldn't have had to get an operation if I wasn't going to be a boxer, but because I'm going to be punching people all the time with it, then I had to get this fixed. And that took me out for a long time. So basically,
how did you find that? Mentally,
it was horrible because I couldn't train for 2 months at all because I had to get bone taken from the hip, bone graft.
Wow.
Put into the hand. So
that's why it looks so solid.
So I couldn't run and I couldn't do any kind of boxing training or anything. I was literally going mental.
That must have been so hard for you.
That was the first time in my life I couldn't do anything. I felt like I was going insane, and that was during like COVID and all that stuff. So that ruined my chances to go to Olympics. And
can you go now, or can you not go if you're pro?
Nah, I'm turning professional now, so the way it works, you have to be like an amateur on the Team GB to go to Olympics. I think now though some pros can go to Olympics now.
Would Canelo not just go and clean up?
That's what I think. I've also thought that, but like I think you have to have under like 6 fights or something like that, or 10 fights or something.
So weird.
It's so weird.
Because basketball people get the pros in, and you've got Team America with like LeBron and all those people. That's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, it's mental.
So the difference in quality between pro and amateur in boxing, is it huge? Or are there some like sick amateurs who just want to be in like the Olympics the whole time? Or
so the truth is, right, a top level amateur will beat most professionals.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not amateur boxing. They're professionals.
Right.
It should be called like Olympic style boxing. Like it's a different style of boxing. It's not amateur because these guys all get paid and all that stuff, and it's under like it's called AIBA. That's the organisation, but it's obviously
the WBO.
Rather than just boxing is what everyone knows it as, like 12 rounds to become like a world champion or whatever. But obviously these guys are 3 rounds. But the difference is a professional boxer will be conditioned for
12,
and his tactics will be for 12 rounds. So an amateur boxing match is faster paced. It's much faster paced.
You just go in.
Yeah, it's like ba-ba-da-bam, ba-da-bam. And then a pro will even maybe sacrifice like the first 4 rounds and just get warmed up, then start coming and sit.
4 rounds?
Maybe. Like
depending on the tactics.
Well, yeah, he could. But see, in amateur boxing, right, if you lose the first round, then you need to win the second round pretty much, right. Or then you've lost the fight.
Can you knock somebody out?
You can, yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
Because I did see you absolutely leather someone in the Commonwealth, and it looked like they were like...
I stopped him. Yeah. I stopped my first guy in the Commonwealth Games, but it's less likely to happen in the pros. Sorry, in the amateurs, because everyone's always kind of equally matched.
That's the Italian.
Huh?
That's the Italian.
Hey. Everyone's always equally matched in amateurs. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So you're not in the pros. People will fight like the first 10 fights sometimes like against people that have had like 100 losses and like 2 wins. It's quite mental.
Is there people like that?
Aye, that's
100 losses, 2 wins.
They're called journeymen, and basically what these guys do is like they they just go around. They might fight every week, and basically all they're trying to do is not get knocked out, so they can get paid every week. Because if you get knocked out, then you're not allowed to fight for like 2 months or something like that.
My gosh,
It's quite mental when you think about it.
That is wild.
I know, but so when you see people
So
with
they're professional losers.
exactly, yeah,
No, I don't mean it in like they're like a loser. Like
aye,
I mean like they're
100%. You're right,
but they're
100%.
losing their fights. Yeah,
Professional, aye, whatever you want to call it, but it's like it's
it's crazy, isn't it?
So when you look at someone's record sometimes and they're like 20-0, you need to look at who they fought, because sometimes you look at the record and it's just completely padded, just fighting guys that are like, do you know what I mean? They're there to lose.
Yeah.
And it's quite a weird thing about boxing. It's quite and I think it all started because of like people like Mayweather, and they want to be like undefeated and blah blah blah.
But Mayweather fought proper. Like Mayweather.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
But was he tactical about it?
He was tactical, yeah, 100%. Like, so he never fought Pacquiao and all these kind of guys on like in their primes. He was smart about it. Do you know what I mean? So he would wait for the right moment. But boxing is all about timing. It's about like the right time to fight someone. You need to, I might not be ready to fight someone like a world champion just now, but
Like
you need
Canelo.
to wait. Like Canelo,
It's
right?
coming though, isn't it?
100%, right. We need to wait until the time's right. You need to wait until you're completely ready. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think a sport is all about that. It's about timing, but I feel like it kind of ruins it sometimes because, for example, in like the UFC is run by just Dana White, just one guy, one promoter, and he decides who fights who all the time
to make the fights interesting. Yeah.
And that's good that way. And you shouldn't be. Sometimes people are too scared to lose, too scared to take the risk.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of.
How have your losses been for you mentally?
Yeah, losses are hard to take, aren't they? But you need to just come back from them. You need to just come back stronger. You need to think like, what did I do wrong? Especially in boxing and these kind of sports. You know what I mean? Like, because it's pride as well. A lot of it's pride.
Yeah.
No one likes to lose. It's hard to take. So you just need to think like how you can come back stronger. What can you learn from that? But losing's not something that comes into my mind anymore. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like you just need to. You can't think about losing at all. You just think about winning, and that's it.
So the night before the fight, what are you thinking about? What's your ritual?
I don't have rituals. I think rituals just make you. I feel like rituals kind of make you weak-minded in a way. Weak-minded a wee bit.
Because if you don't get your ritual right, then you're screwed.
I don't need to touch my toes 5 times or like I don't know, eat the same thing every day. All I need is the opponent in the ring and
they're getting smashed.
Exactly, and they're getting dude. So it's like I don't need anything else, and that's it. I'll just jump in the ring. Doesn't matter what colour I'm wearing. Doesn't matter what shoes I've got on. Doesn't matter what boxer shorts I've got on. I might go commando as well and still batter them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I don't believe in any of these superstitions.
Yeah. You just go in to win and that's it.
Yeah.
I saw a video of you. It was really funny. It was like, I'm going to get this wrong, but it was like, yeah, he's getting smashed. Montenegro's getting smashed. He's getting smashed.
He's getting it.
They're all getting it. They're all getting it. But that, I liked it because it was an insight into your mind.
Aye.
They're all getting it.
Aye, everyone's getting it.
Everyone's getting it.
They're all getting it still. Canelo's getting it. But
that's the mindset you need, right?
100%.
Everybody's getting smashed.
Aye.
And you're training to be the guy that delivers and all of that, right?
I like one of my role models, not role models, but yeah, his role model, I suppose, is that, do you follow the UFC at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
You know that guy, Khamzat Chimaev?
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm coming for everybody.
Yeah.
Kill everybody.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the mind. That's what you need to be like, man.
Yep.
I feel like I'm trying to be the Scottish boxing version of him.
Love that.
Because I remember the first time I seen him, I was like, man, that's how you need to be. That's the mindset you need to have.
Apparently when he spars as well, he hits hard. He hits really, really hard. Like everyone's getting destroyed. It doesn't matter what the setting is. Everyone's getting destroyed. I'll send you the thing. It was another pro.
Sean Strickland, wasn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
It was, yeah.
He was like, yeah, this guy's he's just destroying everyone all the time.
He had to tell him to calm down on them.
Yeah, something like, because when you're sparring, you're not supposed to. Yeah.
But see, the thing is as well, like...
My mum listens to this, by the way, so we can't tell her about you getting me into the sparring.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, I know all about
or your plans to get me into the Scottish Championships. Don't worry. I can't do that.
You will?
I can't.
No?
I can't turn up.
On.
I can't turn up to work with a black eye or a bloody knows. And I also don't. I feel like I have a special. This is going to sound really big-headed. I feel like I've got a special brain. I need to protect my brain.
No, 100%. I get you.
Do you know what I mean? Like I need.
We'll do more head movement then.
Or you'll go like. So can we go back to the night before a fight? Because I've obviously never done this, but I'm sure many people have imagined what it's like the night before a fight. What do you think about? Do you think about your opponent? Or do you think about walking into the ring and just doing them? Think about winning and your hand being raised? Yeah? You visualize it?
I suppose I do, right? But see, the older I've got, I don't really ever... I don't feel like... See, for example, right, back in the day, when you're younger and maybe less experienced, I feel like you get more nervous and you think about it too much.
Yeah.
When I'm like... maybe in my room the night before, I'm not really trying to think about it. I'm just chilling. Maybe playing the FIFA.
Really?
Maybe just chilling out, relaxing. Just, but then again, I'll be making weight, won't I? So, like, you're always dying for a drink. Your mouth's so dry.
So tell me about that then. What happens with making weight? Like, what's the objective? Like, what's the process?
Yeah, so basically, obviously, you need to diet, like, a good few weeks before. Make sure your weight's under control. You don't want to cut too much water. Because obviously we usually lose a few kilos of water before it.
So the thinking for the listeners, you want to be as big and strong as you can. You're likely going to be overweight. And then you want to get underweight and rebound. Is that essentially it?
Yeah, but the thing is though, in the amateur or the Olympic style boxing, you could be boxing 5 times within like 5 days. So
you got to make weight every day.
In the pros in boxing and like things like UFC and stuff, you see them doing these crazy weight cuts.
Yeah.
You can't afford to do it. For example, in the Commonwealth Games, I had like 4 or 5 fights, right? So I need to make weight in 5 consecutive days. So you can't afford to lose too much weight every night.
Okay.
But if you're doing one fight, yeah, and you're getting weighed in the day before. So remember as well, we're getting weighed in on the morning of the fight. So we wake up in the morning, get weighed, and then we fight later on that day, maybe like 5 hours later. So with these UFC guys and the World Boxing World Champions, they have 24 hours to rehydrate, so they can do it more extreme. And
just some crazy videos, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot. Some people do it too much though, and some people can it can make you really weak. Yeah. So there's a fine line that you need to perfect. You need to know your own body. You need to know what your body's capable of. And I suppose as a pro, I'm going to start discovering that more about myself, and I'm going to have to learn more about it. That's why I've got guys like Ricky Burns on board, because he knows all about that. And like I said, I'm still learning about this kind of thing.
What happens if you need to make weight and you've not cut enough? You get the bin bags on and...
well, you're going to have to do that regardless. You're going to have to shed a few kilos.
That happens.
Regardless, yeah. You get a sweatsuit on and...
What's it like being in the sweatsuit?
It's not nice, obviously. It's not good. It's like you don't enjoy it. It's just something you have to do.
Right.
But
do you go in a sauna in the sweatsuit?
No,
because that sounds next level.
No, I don't go in a sauna sweatsuit. I usually just I try not eat as much that on that day, and I'll drink pretty much next to nothing, and then obviously you do a good sweat session. You check the weight. It depends how your weight is. It depends how well you've done the weight. But that's why I had to move up from 75 kilo, because 75 kilo I was
depleted.
I was losing like maybe 3.5 kilos the night before sometimes. Oof. Which is maybe a bit too much.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then now I'm sitting like right now I'm going to be like 86 kilo, 85 kilo. So like I'm grown a lot more since then. So
what will you need to make when you go to your first pro fight in terms of weight?
Maybe like 79 kilo.
Jeez, there's a fair bit there that needs to go.
Aye.
And how long out from the fight do you think you'll have to be able to make that body composition change?
Yeah, I could do that. I can. All I need to do is just watch my eating, because I do love my food maybe too much.
Okay, let's talk about food then. We love to talk about food on this podcast. We love it.
Let's talk.
So do you have like a specific diet that you have?
No. Which I probably should sort out more, but I love...
Let me tell you, this is unsolicited advice. That could take things to the next level for you.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
If that's not dialed in, and that could be dialed in, then you've got so much potential.
See, the thing is, right, I feel like my meals are always good, but it's the bits that add on. For example, like chocolate, biscuits with the coffee, things like that.
Sugar with the coffee, yeah.
Sugar with the coffee. And also as well, it's just that maybe the quantities you eat. So that when I'm making weight for a fight, obviously I have to cut a lot of that out. I have to reduce the quantities, and I have to cut out the chocolate, cut out all the crap. That's the hardest part for me, I think, to be honest. It's not drinking, it's not training, it's like literally like eating healthy. That's for me, that's the hardest part.
But to be fair, you're training 3 times a day. You need calories, right?
But you still need to kind of watch what you're eating as well. It's you need to keep it clean.
Do you get a nutritionist, or will you get a nutritionist as part of your, like, you know, your package of support? You've got your physio, you've got your S&C, you've got Ricky Burns, you've got Will you get a nutritionist, or
maybe I will eventually in the future? And
you'll need to fund that yourself, won't you? So you have you're essentially a business when you're a pro, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got everyone else that you pay to help make you amazing, and they come with you in your camps and stuff like that. Have you been to any crazy camps?
Well, with the GB team and the Scotland team, I went so many training camps.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Spain, Kazakhstan. Russia.
What's Russia like for boxing?
Russia's brilliant, yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, these guys, all these countries like Russia, Kazakhstan, these Eastern Bloc countries, they're all serious about it. Do you know what I mean? They're all their mentality is really good as well. All they do is train. No, it's just all business. So,
why is Scotland not better at boxing?
I think Scotland, for all sports, right, has like some of the best talent in the world, but because
for every sport.
Like, well, I don't know. See the people I've seen like growing up, right? That could have been like professional rugby players and professional football players and professional boxers. Like, they had just so much talent, and then they just start drinking, start going out, start partying.
Yep.
It's mental. And like, I'm thinking, like, see if like alcohol and like drugs didn't exist in Scotland, I think like we'd be literally one of the best countries in the world for sport. Right. It's a shame, but
we do have a really bad booze and drugs problem, don't we?
It's mental.
Particularly Glasgow.
100% Glasgow.
Glasgow's really bad for cocaine and booze, isn't it? Yeah.
I think Glasgow's like almost like the cocaine.
Could be the worst in the world, yeah.
Aye. And I feel like a lot of people get caught up in this lifestyle now.
Yeah, they do.
From all backgrounds.
They do. And if you think about, if every weekend from Friday to Sunday, you're boozing hard and you're taking lots of Class A drugs, you're never going to be fully recovered.
No.
So how are you ever going to be the best in the world at whatever you're trying to do? It's just it's not possible. I also think the weather could be a factor.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But maybe not in Russia. Russia, the weather's this huge landmass. I can't just generalize. But I think that if there's better weather, people are more likely to be outside and train and so on and so on. But what you're saying makes sense. So if you were in charge of everything in the country, what would you do to make us better at boxing?
I would just promote, well, in these countries as well, right, these athletes are like, they're protected more. They're given like more funding and stuff. So maybe if you made like the lifestyle for these kind of guys better, like, and give them more support, then it'd be better as well. And also as well, just try and like educate people on the fact that like going out and getting pushed every weekend isn't all that, to be honest. Yeah. But at the same time as well, like we spoke about mentality, it's up to you at the end of the day if you don't want it. Maybe it's just a typical a mindset that we have in Scotland. Like that, I feel like one thing we have in Scotland as well, we don't like our own getting too ahead of ourselves.
We don't, do we?
Nah.
We hate it. This is what I was telling you about the US.
Aye.
It's like in the sorry, go on, finish what you're saying and I'll jump in. I'm quite animated because I totally agree with you, but yeah, go on.
Basically, I feel like if a guy in Scotland starts doing something like doing something out of the ordinary, like something quite big and like maybe putting himself out there quite a lot, we have this kind of attitude of like, who does he think he is?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Do you think he's bloody, that, blah, blah, but it's like, that's why do we not like back each other up? You get what I mean? Why are we not like happy that, this guy is from Glasgow, he's doing good, man, big him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We always kind of, even like our own footballers and that, we always kind of take the piss out of them. We always say, Scotland, SFA, Scotland failed again, blah, blah, blah. Scotland's this, Scotland's crap, Scotland's this. Why are we not backing each other up? Do you know what I mean? And I feel like
I know exactly.
We should always be doing that. You get other countries that they're so proud of their own countrymen, they're backing them up all the time. Like, why are we not backing each other up?
I totally agree.
And I feel like, and I've talking about like for music, for everything,
for business,
for everything, exactly,
everything. Whereas and that's why I was getting animated. 'Cause I think I told you when I came back from
LA.
San Francisco, California.
Aye.
I was just like, the mindset is so different.
Uh-huh.
It's just totally different. It's like, if you tell someone in Scotland, if I tell someone in Scotland, right, this is what I want to do. I want to develop a new medicine, create a multi-billion-pound company, then I want to be the first minister. They go,
Aye.
Wow.
Who's James think he is?
whoa.
Aye, they ball, pal.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, that guy. Yeah, he's got a big head. Whereas in the US, it's like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's like, you do that.
Aye.
You go and be the biggest and the best and the first.
Aye.
You have to do that.
Aye.
Why would you do anything else? Also, let's say I'll give you 2 examples. So, you have a great event with your company and you become multimillionaire. You go and buy a fast car. Okay.
Aye.
You drive it to work and everyone's like
Jealous.
and I won't say it because we can't use bad
Aye.
words in this podcast, but whereas in the US, people are like, they're like clapping. They're like, that's the American dream.
Aye.
They're like, I want to be like you one day, sir. So we just don't have that supportive, success promoting mentality here in Scotland, which is crazy because a lot of the things that we use every day were invented in Scotland. One of the most entrepreneurial, inventive societies ever.
And a lot of people don't see the hard work that you put behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
Man. They don't see that.
They don't see that, and then they think, "Who's this guy? What's he doing?" Blah,
They
blah,
don't.
blah.
They don't see the
worked
work.
hard your whole life. When they were out like drinking stuff, you were out grafting in your own craft.
That's
it.
it.
So it's
You're
like
out running in the rain with the music on.
exactly.
Not always, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
So tell me about the first fight then, as a pro. How will this be arranged? And like, is there a person identified? Like, how does it work?
I don't actually know, to be honest. Like, I'm just gonna get the call eventually, and get told I'm fighting this guy. I'll say sound and jump and just
And
do the business. Aye, but it's obviously I'll be training. I'm always training. I'm always ready. Eventually, when I know when I'm fighting, I'll start.
How much notice will you get?
Probably about 6 weeks or something. 5 weeks, and then I'll just start bringing the weight down a wee bit.
And the promoters get together and they say, right, this could be a good fight. This is how much. What about the money side of things? How does that appear?
Well, it won't be that much at the start, probably. Like, people think, oh,
Comes from the audience, right?
People
pay to be there, and you get a slice of that.
And I think as well, it'll just come from like, because it's different as well. My like promotional deal like isn't like completely like sorted yet,
right?
So a lot of people when they turn pro, they'll get like they'll just maybe be with a smaller promoter and they'll get a ticket deal, which is like they'll get paid on based how many tickets they can sell and stuff.
Yep.
But you don't really want that. Usually you want something like you want a set price at a good price eventually. But the truth is as well, right? See people that went to the Commonwealth Games before, they're getting signed. The people that got bronze, people that I would absolutely batter. Do you know what I mean? People are getting like from England and stuff. They get like they're getting better deals than me. They're getting signed by Matchroom, Eddie Hearn and stuff. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like I've never got that recognition still. I feel like I've always had to fight for it, and I've always had to try and prove people wrong. And I never get like these good deals from people. I never get big sponsors. I never get these big deals from like Eddie Hearn. I never had Eddie Hearn like message me and stuff like saying, "Oh, we want to sign blah blah blah." I don't know why, right? I don't know if maybe they don't like me or something, or maybe is it? I have no idea what it is, but I don't know if I need to keep just proving people wrong again. But I don't mind doing that. I'll just keep proving people wrong again and again and again, and then eventually hopefully I'll get a good signing. But at the same time as well, I don't mind having that dog mentality, that underdog mentality, where I'm just going to have to keep working hard and keep grafting. I'm going to keep chasing it, and eventually I'm going to get it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And when you say get it, what is that?
Just become like a world
champion,
proper champion, properly recognised and getting good money and finally getting the benefits of what I've worked so hard for. Because I don't feel like I've got that yet. And I feel like I deserve what I've achieved now. I feel like I deserve more than what I'm getting.
Right.
And maybe it's I don't know the word, but maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But I feel like I do deserve more. But then maybe I've just got to keep proving everyone wrong again.
I think so, man.
My best friend Ado, he's like he's like the Arabic version of David Goggins, right? One of my best mates, right? He runs 15k every day.
Every day,
right? He's mental, right? And he's like my biggest motivator. He's like my spiritual advisor, right?
have I seen him in the baths?
Maybe once, right? I think a few times, right?
Yeah.
And he's in pure amazing shape, and he says, "There's nothing wrong, Sean. You just need to keep proving people wrong again and again and again." See, 6 weeks from when I got picked for Commonwealth Games, he would message me every Monday. He would say 6 weeks. He would just send me a message on the Monday, 6 weeks. Next week, Monday,
Amazing.
5 weeks.
Amazing.
He would just message me that.
Amazing.
4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2
Amazing.
weeks. And he came to every fight in it.
Put the work in.
Aye, honestly, this guy's mental. And and if you watch the final, right, he told me, right, like when you win the gold medal, we feel like visualize it, right, from the start, that when you win the gold medal, you're going to do that because you shut them up, the naysayers, the haters. And then I've done that, right?
Did you do it after?
I've done it, and then you see him, like, he's greeting, right? He's crying, he's going like, yes, you proved them wrong. He's going mental in it, and people are thinking, who's that guy shouting at you? I was like, no, that's my pal. He's picking me up. But he's it's good.
I think everyone needs someone like that in their life.
I've got really good pals, to be honest, man. Like, I've got, as I got older, do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably the same yourself. A lot of people that you're friends with when you're growing up, they start cutting off.
100%.
And because maybe they don't realise what you're trying to do.
Oh, man.
I think we spoke about this before. They don't understand what you're trying to do, do you know what I mean? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like people...
Going back to what we said at the start, no one can understand, and I'm not sort of saying I believe this, but no one can understand that you'd rather die than lose. No one can understand that you'd rather, like, you just can't imagine any other outcome than this being successful. I just can't imagine it. I believe in myself, and I believe in what we're doing so much that I've never once imagined it not being successful. Even when we've had a setback, it takes me about a day to recalibrate, and then boom, I'm straight up again.
Yeah.
My former boss, like, because when you're running a company, you do have bosses. You've got the board of directors that you report to, and you typically have one person, the chairman, who can be a man or woman, or a they or whatever, and they're your boss, so they're elected by the shareholders. And I remember one of my old bosses, who I'm trying to get on the podcast, was like, "You're like one of these helium balloons, or one of these things. You just punch you, and then boom, you just fly back up." And I think that's the case. It takes me about a day, and I'm right back up. Because I think if you believe in something enough, it doesn't really matter what the setback is. You're going to find a way.
100%.
You're going to get up. And one of my challenges, I guess, has been I started the company. I didn't have co-founders. So in the US, typically in the West Coast, you would have like 2 to 3 people starting a company. Co-founder is really important because you can lean on each other and confide in each other and troubleshoot. And if you have a down, and you have a down pretty much every day in a small business, or you've got a fire to put out, not literal fire, metaphorical fire to put out, you troubleshoot together. I never had that. So I had to develop this sort of resilience within myself. And you don't want to burden your family. You know what I mean? You don't want to call them up every day and go, "You won't believe what happened today." And your friends around you don't want to hear it either. So you just kind of have to get it in your mind and get it set. And what you said about school friends and old friends kind of not getting it is, of course, it's true, man. You know?
Yeah.
There's a very small number of people who really want you to do well, and who truly believe.
100%.
You know? And it's just about finding them and staying close to them. I think that's key. Sounds that you got it. Ad?
My mate Ado, my mate Sega. I've got a good Andrew Brown. Do you know what I mean? Like Marcus, Cammy. We've got
Marcus. I know. Yeah.
You know Marcus,
of course.
Aye.
Yeah.
Good. We've got good friends that boys, like. You know, they genuinely, really, they want you to do well. Do you know? They want you to do well.
Yes.
And a lot of people, you probably notice in it in your own life, like they not actually, they kind of fake in it. They don't want you to do better than them.
Right.
But it's, I think it's just human nature as well. So it's good to have these people in your life. And
you're now on what I'll call escape velocity. You're just about to lift off.
Hopefully, yeah.
A couple of professional fights under your belt, knockouts, and then you're flying.
Aye.
What I think you're going to find is there's going to be loads more people trying to get on your train because you're on the up. Does that make sense? Yeah. All the people that weren't there now, or over the last few years are going to jump on you, try to get on your train. And that's fine.
You know who the real ones are in your life.
That's what I'm saying, because your friends that have been with you over the last few years those are the ones that will carry you through, man. And they're not boxers either, right?
No, they're not boxers. So, I met some, but I met Sega through boxing, but they all like boxing.
Yeah.
And they just support me because they're into boxing, because like I'm into it, and they just they came every fight for the Commonwealth Games.
Yep. Amazing.
And
amazing.
It's like, it was hard for them to get to it. Do you know what I mean?
Where was it again?
It's in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of it's like not easy to get to. Do you know what I mean? They had to go and get tickets and come every day.
Yeah.
Driving there. Do you know what I mean? So
that's a big one.
Commitment. And so it's good to have good friends, and you need to know who the real ones are in your life that are going to properly,
right? And
hopefully as well you can help them in their life as well. Do you know what I mean? Help their business and help their career, and you all grow together. Do you know what I mean? And and when you're older, you have all done well in your lives.
Yeah, I love that vision.
It's nice.
What about your family? I know your mum doesn't. She tells you every day to stop. I fully believe that. I fully believe that, man. Yeah.
Aye.
But are you close to your family?
Very close. I love. I'm only child though.
Yeah.
So I'm spoiled with love. But even though I've got a small family, I feel like I'm still a big family guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would never have done anything without my family.
Right.
I literally couldn't have asked for a better mum and dad, and even my stepdad and stepmom.
Yeah.
My parents aren't together, but thank God they're still kind of like friends, and
That's great.
It was really, really blessed in that sense.
Yeah. I think that strong family.
Was never rich or anything, but like, just I think like I had so much opportunities. I feel like because my parents were just always there for me. My parents would have supported me, and like they would have in anything I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? And I was just really blessed to have them. To be honest.
Amazing.
Can't you see a lot of boxers and
I feel the same way actually. Yeah.
You see a lot of boxers that maybe had like no parents growing up, and like maybe they always say that maybe their mum was a drug addict and they had these hard lives growing up. But
that's another reason why Scotland I think has issues. It's just because it's like generational.
Aye.
You know, that's what mum and dad did this, so I'm going down this path.
My mum had a really hard life growing up. Do you know what I mean? So, and basically where she came from, she made such the way like we speak about that, the drugs and alcohol and stuff, like her family comes from like that. Do you know what I mean? And then she's done so well just to give me such a good life.
Right.
And I feel like that's the one way you can go see if you come from a family like that.
Yeah.
Like with drugs and alcohol abuse, then you can either become that or be the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
You can say like you can become basically a drug addict, or you can literally never touch it.
Right.
So, but obviously that's not for everyone. But I feel like that is like two ways maybe you could go.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, tell me about what you're thinking before you are just about to start fighting. Does your heart start going much faster? I
get buzzing,
adrenaline rush.
I get excited. I get excited though. I don't get scared. I start shouting at the opponent and stuff.
Really?
I start looking at him and saying, "It's go time, baby!" I start shouting. I just go mental and I start.
Have you ever faced somebody where you were like, "Oh goodness, they look savage. They are savage"?
No,
never.
No.
There must be some boxers that have a serious reputation for doing damage.
Aye, everyone's got a reputation in it, but then when they jump in the ring, then they're just another guy. So I don't really think of that. I wouldn't be scared of anybody. I jump in the ring with them, then we see what they're all about. And then just need to smash them, and that's it.
That's the success mentality.
I've got this weird mentality now, right? I don't even get like a pure buzz from it now when I win a fight. It's weird.
Really?
I swear to God, right?
Is it more like relief?
No. I just don't really, I'm being honest, right? I don't even feel anything. I don't feel emotion or anything. It's kind of weird, right? I don't know if that's like strange, but it's like
it's not that strange.
I feel like I always just expect to win in it, and I'm just
it's just business.
It's just business. Like I got to go and do the job.
Wow.
I love when I'm in the ring.
Yeah.
I love like seeing my opponent get hurt, and I don't want him to be. And I don't want him to be hurt like forever or anything. Like that's not what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I love seeing like obviously the nature of boxing, it's a fight in it. And
there's no way of sugar.
At the end of the day, I want, like, I'll always be pals with my opponent after. I'll always show sportsmanship. I'm a good sportsman. No matter how much bad, maybe I've chat a lot of crap to him at the start of it.
Yep.
I'll be
Is that part of it?
Not part of it. You don't have to be, but it's just kind of, I like
Did
it.
you do it?
I like get maybe like.
So when you become like top pro, you're going to be giving it all the lip.
I'll be maybe a wee bit, but I've tried not to do too much. But I'll be cheeky and stuff. Yeah. I like that stuff. I like chatting a bit of smack and then jumping out there and backing up.
Get in their head.
And it's good to get in the head sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny as well.
You got examples where people like were really wired up before they fought you because you were in their head and they didn't perform as well. It's part of the game.
I talk to them during it as well.
Do you?
Yeah. I say stuff like, "You're not on my level."
Really?
Yeah.
Is it not worrying though that if your mouth is open you can get clipped and then
maybe I'll just make sure that I'm in a good position. I'll say, "You're not on my level." Boom, 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 boom.
And do they talk back to you?
If they can speak English, then I.
And they say, "Yeah, I
am." Say, "You're right, Sean."
You're right.
Don't hurt me.
Don't hit me so hard, please.
It's just part of it. But see, after every fight, I'll be friends and I'll shake hands. I don't want anyone to get hurt at the end of the day. But when I'm in that zone, obviously we're trying to kill each other, we're trying to hurt each other, we're trying to beat each other.
You are trying to hurt him, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're really trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're throwing.
I want to see them get put on the floor.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like for me, for example, right, if not, I chat a bit of crap sometimes, like I've chat a bit of smack, which is like obviously part of my own personality.
Right.
I think it's I always just want to be humble as well. I want to remember where I come from. I want to remember who helped me on the way up.
Right.
Because they do say you meet them on the way back down.
Right.
And I don't expect anything from anyone. I don't expect people to like treat me different. If I do something good, I want everyone just to treat me the same. Because I'm still Sean Lazzerini from Glasgow at the end of the day. And I look at people like Ricky Burns, my coach, just a 3-time world champion, and it's mental in it. It's just the way he's so humble, the way he just helps anyone, and he's just got that good attitude. Because there's other people out there that have this great, maybe not done anything near what he's done.
Right.
And they have this like such
hype
big
themselves.
ego. And I don't want to be like that.
Right.
I want to have that kind of mentality where I'm still humble, still the same Sean Lazzerini, have my own personality at the end of the day, which is maybe...
And that's essential, I think.
Aye.
You need that.
But, because you don't want to be too humble. You want to chat a bit of crap sometimes and have a laugh and maybe a bit of smack, but you need to remember where you come from. And that's the kind of attitude I feel like it's good to have.
Good. So when you win at Madison Square Gardens, you're still Sean Lazzerini from Glasgow.
Aye, 100%. Still come back to Glasgow, back to the Western Bars.
You see yourself living Glasgow for the rest of your days? You happy here, or do you think you need to go somewhere else?
I think Glasgow, right? Even though we always complain about the weather, Glasgow's home. But I feel like I'd like to have like some houses like in Italy or Spain or something. Do you know what I mean? But Glasgow will always be home.
Feels like home.
100%.
Yeah.
I love Glasgow.
It's a very homey city.
Yeah. But at the same time, I love travelling, and maybe one day we'll have a house abroad or whatever, but Glasgow will always be...
That's on the wish list.
Home. Aye.
When we've talked about boxing and when you trained me, one of the things you said to me was not every punch is hard. Some of them are really light, just to try and like catch your opponent off guard or to put them down a different path. So it's almost like a game of chess that happens, isn't there?
Yeah.
And how do you know what your opponent's going to react to? Do you study them before the fight or?
Right. Well, a wee bit. I feel like you don't want to look too much in. So it's good to see a wee bit of your opponent, but you don't want to look too much into it and get pure. At the end of the day, you want to jump in there and do what you're going to do.
Yes.
You don't want to like think too much about what your opponent's going to do.
Right. Because you can't predict what they're going to do, really.
Yeah, you could think your opponent's going to be running on the back foot, and then he's changed his tactics. He's coming forward. So you just need to jump in there and adapt.
Right.
And do what you're going to do, like I said. So that puts you in the right mentality just to... And before, my mentality used to be... We spoke about mentality, innit? It's, I think mentality is everything. Before, I used to always think like, I'm going to go and jump in, do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to make sure he doesn't do this. I don't think anything like that. I just think now, I'm going to jump in there and absolutely kill this guy. And I don't mean I want to kill him.
I understand.
I mean, like, I want to just beat this guy. I just destroy this guy.
Yeah.
And just punch the absolute daylights out of him. And
it's quite
win the fight.
It's a very violent thing, isn't it, boxing?
Aye. But it's called a sweet science at the end of the day. So it's a lot of skill, a lot of technique, making them miss and making them pay. And if you see my fights, you see that like I use a lot of head movement, dodge and come back and counter. It's a sweet science.
Who's the fighter you aspire to the most?
Canelo Alvarez.
But he's also the one you're going to fight and knock out.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. I'm going to retire him. Basically, the two guys that I look up to a wee bit. I try not. I don't think you should. I feel like you should always have yourself as your own role model. But two guys I feel like I've always looked up to is that Canelo Alvarez and that Khamzat Chimaev for his mentality.
The UFC guy.
Yeah, for his mentality.
Is he a champion yet? No, he's on the up.
But he will be, hopefully. But Canelo Alvarez for just his boxing skill and just the way he fights, I just love it.
Do you think that the UFC fighter actually 100% believes that he's going to smash absolutely everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
That's what you need to be like that.
Or you don't think it's a bit of a front? You think he literally wakes up and he's like, yep, everyone's getting smashed. Everybody.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's what I think as well. So that's why I believe it as well for him.
You walk the walk.
Aye.
So after the fight, do you like binge on bad food, see family?
Yeah, I just see the thing is right. My diet is the thing in my whole career that I probably could be better in.
Yeah,
I could be better with the diet.
More salad, more vegetables,
more fruit, more vegetables.
If you need to talk
less chocolate.
If you need
that's what I say more.
If you need to talk to someone about that, Sean, talk to me, man.
I'll come. To Inside Matters, the Gut Health podcast. Let's go. But 100%, I need to. Like, do you think chocolate, like eating too much chocolate, is very bad for you?
I do think that's very bad for you.
What do you think is bad about it?
I think sugar is really bad for you.
Really?
I think sugar is possibly the worst thing on the planet.
Aye. I think you're right as well.
I'm being serious. I think
it's addictive. I genuinely think. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm addicted to it.
I believe it.
And I've spoke about it to my coaches and that. I feel like there's not a day that I don't have a bit of chocolate, and that's like
you're addicted.
I feel like I'm addicted.
You are.
I am.
It's your brain and the microbes in your gut saying I need more sugar. Seriously.
But I don't need it.
You definitely don't need it. You know what? If you cut it out and this is what I believe. If you cut it out and went to a predominantly plant-based diet, your cravings would go. I've heard this from so many different people. They change their diet totally and they never get sugar cravings anymore. I don't get sugar cravings ever. Swear to God. Or whoever I swear to. I do get savory cravings. I never get sweet cravings. Honestly. Never wake up and go, right, I need a piece of chocolate. Like today, before I came in here, I got a coffee. And in front of me was like 9 different types of cake, peanut butter slice, chocolate this, chocolate that. And I was just like, nah, not doing it. Whereas I know that when I used to eat chocolate, like you, I would have it every day. I would have like the peanut butter Kit Kat every day, which is really good. Kit Kat every day with my coffee, or I'd have a brownie or something like that with my coffee. But now it's just gone, man.
See, I need to get rid of that.
It's done.
Done. Completely.
Done. It's finished, mate. If you want to be the best in the world.
You're right.
If you want to be the best in the whole world, which is what you want to do, then your diet is going to be the best in the whole world. It has to be, man.
But so what's your diet like?
You've got to lock it in and dial it down. My diet is just massive amounts of fruit and vegetables, beans, lentils, anything that's got fibre in it, anything that's colourful, anything that's minimally processed.
What about meats then?
Meat, very rarely. Fish, yes. Lean types of... Very rarely have red meat now. I'm not actually the biggest fan of red meat anymore. Chicken, don't eat so much of anymore either. Fish, still eat a reasonable amount of fish, but my diet is predominantly just plants now. And I can send you so many things. I can connect you to so many people who, like me, were skeptical, who've done the plant-based thing and they just consume fruit and veg, fiber all day, and they feel amazing. They feel unbelievable.
What about eggs?
Eggs good, yeah.
I eat eggs all the time.
Eggs are good, yeah.
And
eggs are very nutritious.
I love eggs and steak.
A steak's good. It tastes good.
I don't have a problem with like eating vegetables and stuff or fruit, but it's like I feel like I need steak and like stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I talked about before in this podcast is like if you should have at least one meal a day That's for your microbes in your gut. And this sounds like a bit like, what the hell, what is he on about? But there's things that you can digest and there's things that the bugs can digest. So all these fibers that are in like the salad you eat and the vegetables you have, your body can't break some of it down, but the microbes can. And when the microbes break it down, they release things that are beneficial to the body. So if you a quick fix could be, I have one meal a day specifically focused on my microbes, and it's just like a huge plate full of really rough, like tough things to chew and eat, fiber rich things, and that could be one way of getting it all in your system and promoting your gut health. But for me, like if I was a professional athlete, my diet would be dialed in, dialed in, because my performance would improve and I would feel amazing and I'd look good. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So just, I mean, I think I can't give advice on what's the best diet for an elite athlete. You need to find somebody who works with elite athletes, because you've got particular energy requirements. You've got requirements that I don't fully understand, but somebody who sees your training plan, who starts to understand you, sees how your weight fluctuates, you might find it's easier to cut weight, you might find it's easier to gain weight, you might get better sleep, you might recover faster. You know, all these things are on the table when it comes to diet. It's like a fundamental part, like training, sleep, diet. These are like fundamentals, right? If training's good, sleep's not good, diet's good, could be better.
Yeah.
Take your pick. Some people say sleep is arguably the most important thing. But for you, if you don't put the work, then you're not going to get better. Do you know what I mean?
No, we need it. But so that's an area in my life I can definitely improve on.
100%. Find someone amazing to just help take things to the next level for you. And they're going to stop you having sugar in your coffee.
Yeah, I know. I need that. Don't let me do that next time. We got it down to a half sugar.
Yeah, at half. That's good. Yeah. Again, I think once you stop it, one day you'll be like, why did I do that? See what I'm saying? Any other cravings? Pizza.
So yeah, I love like things. I love big like carbohydrate things.
Yeah.
I love pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta, pizza. I love like.
That's okay.
Do you think so?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. At particular times. Yeah.
But when it's
Is that not a staple? Like, what's your home food staples? Like what would your mum cook, for example?
She doesn't really cook that much. She could work on that. But well, growing up in that, I had lots of, I would eat pasta a lot.
Yep.
I love steak, innit? I love steak so much. Maybe
Steak every day?
No, I don't have steak every day, but I have it a good, like maybe 3 times a week. Maybe. It's quite a lot. I love meats. I love chicken. I love everything. Do you know what I mean? Italian food, Indian food.
Oh, Indian's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I know
Indian's so good. It's not that good for you though.
I know, that's what I think as well. I think it's maybe the best.
Indian's a weakness of mine, actually. God, you got me thinking about Indian now.
Aye.
Oh no. Does that mean I'm going to have to get curry tonight?
Maybe.
One thing Glasgow's good for.
A curry?
It's curry.
Where, but what restaurant?
I would go to the little curry house on...
Oh yeah, I know the owner.
You know what I'm talking about?
Jazdeep.
I don't know the owner.
Yeah, because he
Jazdeep, you do good curry.
Jazdeep, well done. He grew up beside me.
Really?
Aye.
He's doing well?
Yeah, his family owned the place.
Happy
really
days.
Nice. Yeah.
Happy days. Where would you go?
Jazdeep is very... that place is very nice. The little curry house. Rishi's is very nice.
Where's Rishi's?
Bath Street.
What about Shoka?
Where's that again? I've heard of that.
It's near Ashton Lane.
Aye. Oh yeah, I've been there as well.
It's good, right?
Let's stop talking about curries.
Yeah, except you get hungry as well. Are you training tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I'll be training tonight.
See
But
you at the baths.
no, I'm not going to. I went this morning to the baths.
Yeah. Sauna in the morning sets you up for the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, I trained this morning, and then I was up at 6 this morning. So,
Client.
Sorry.
You're balancing a client with all your training as well.
Yeah. So I'm still working just now, full-time personal trainer. So it's good. It kind of goes hand in hand as well, that kind of job with training. So it's good. And but I'm going to do some boxing tonight probably.
Are you training anyone who could be really, really good? Like you identified anyone who could be like an excellent boxer?
For my clients?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like I've got a good few clients that are like really good. A lot of them are doing like kind of just like small amateur shows. A lot of them just want to have like their first fight and stuff. So, but they're all like quite talented. But it's hard to say like, oh, like at that level, like, oh, this guy could be like very good.
Yeah, how do you know if someone who's not that good could be very good?
See, you sometimes I feel like you can't, because it's if
the way they move, the way they hit.
Sometimes people just can hit, just like have natural power. Some people just have natural flow. My mate John Joe, who I met, who was one of my clients. Now he's one of my good friends. He's very talented. He used to be a Thai boxer. And his hands are just brilliant. And I think he wants to get some professional boxing matches as well. He says, but he could do very good. He's very talented. So you get people just like that, just have that natural talent.
That'll be exciting for you seeing your clients win fights.
That'd be the dream as well.
Training them, shouting at them.
100%.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Sean, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you, man. Yeah. I really enjoyed that a lot. If people want to connect with you, where do they get you?
They can get me on Instagram, Sean Lazzerini, or Lazzaboy Beast Mode it's called.
Awesome.
I've had that name forever, so don't judge it.
That's what you're all about, isn't it?
That's it.
Thanks for coming on, man. Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much. Cheers.
Cheers.